We'll discuss about Mexican fast food chain here. Okay, also the another example is your Chipotle, which is like your California burrito or this kind of restaurants, right? When they first started, so this is a Chipotle Mexican grill. Okay, so in 1993, Steve Ellis opened a burrito cum taco restaurant in a Denver storefront. It was near to the university campus and became popular with students. The idea, his initial idea was not to run a burrito restaurant or a fast food chain. He wanted to have a pure fine dine restaurant and so on. His idea was to initially launch this as a store for university students, and then get some cash, use it as a cash cow, and run a real upscale restaurant at a later point. So his basic idea was to make it just as a initial tool to gain some money, and then so that he can have a full scale Mexican restaurant. Okay, that was his initial objective. What happened? So it became popular. So soon, once it became popular, then he decided. Then he changed the idea. He saw that then they wanted to branch out. At first to several locations in and around Denver. Then they launched it. The whole nationwide in the US they launched it. At some point, McDonald's bought 91% stake in this brand. Okay, so these are some of those background story when he sold typically. McDonald owned that brand at some point. What worked in this case? So while he thought it as a part-time or small venture startup, what worked in the favor? The success factors here would be what? He had simple menu, okay, skilled cooking techniques, so fresh preparations, and served quickly. It is more like your fast food. It's not a typical McDonald's fast food, but served very quickly. Okay, so this is in a way some of those. It was not a typical, let's say the McDonald's or Subway kind of fast food version. It is not a fine dine or a typical full scale Mexican restaurant also, but it is somewhere in between. So which he had not anticipated, but probably it worked well in that sense. But one of the things that we are also discussing here is about concepts or ideas are one side. Lot of those when it comes to strategy or management or entrepreneurship, the key is always execution. Right? Your execution matters. We can give you ideas, you can have the best innovation products and so on. Unless you know how to execute, things will fail. Right? Sometimes you don't know, right, whether you need elaborate menu or a simple menu. In this case, accidentally discovered that this exactly fit what the customers were looking in that space. So then it becomes what the menu was called by typically the customers started to call it fast casual. It's not a typical fast food, it's not a restaurant, but it's a fast casual restaurant. Okay, so limited, the choices are limited, only the tacos and burritos, right, basics. Yeah, so what's the advantage of having limited offering or limited menu? You don't need lot of pre-preparations, you don't need lot of processed ingredients, right? It is always, you will have different items in the ready, so you will put that in a taco or in a burrito and then serve it, right? Usually it is made to order, you don't have to pre plan it. It's not, let's say it's not a standardized product like your McDonald's burger, right? It's a slightly still customized or made to order, right? For specifically it is done. Also they kept in terms of, because it's a small store, they had open kitchen, which open kitchen gave it them freshness. The vision for Chipotle or Ellis in this case was food with integrity. But remember, he never advertised it. He never, nowhere they advertised or put a hoarding or put a board to say that we serve food with integrity. How do you communicate that? Food with integrity. How do I communicate? Simple. You execute it, right? The integrity should be seen in your fresh products. Integrity should be seen in your open kitchen, clean environment and so on, right? You never advertise it as a teenage hangout place. Never, he didn't advertise it as a place for youngsters to eat or quick service, or none of these items he advertised. Okay, very little advertisement in terms of all these. The customer sees the value, right? You don't have to say it. Then word of mouth came and it became popular, and they went to different. This is an innovation. Let's say it's something in between a fast food versus restaurants, right? This is where in between that model worked. Okay, today we'll see that model, right, in your all these Mexican fast casual kind of restaurants in India or everywhere in the world, right? We see that. Again, we say that strategy starts with vision or mission statement or charter and so on. Sometimes it can be also, I have to also warn you or caution that sometimes it can become too preachy and it needs to be executed, right? You, in many, let's say the restaurant giving a big hoarding or saying that we are fresh and so on, but you let the quality, or it's like in sports we call, no, let it the bat do the talking, right? It's like you let the food quality or your product or value convenience do the talking instead of doing a lot of advantage. So think about it. Whenever you design your product or want to service the customer, you don't have to boast a lot. You need to let the product do the talking. Yeah? Today, Chipotle is known as a healthy fast food brand.